Today is Monday, May 12th, and we welcome you back to the Frozen Edge, your daily home for a deeper dive into analytics behind the NHL's betting market, helping you craft your picks, props, and parlays as the chase for sports' greatest trophy continues. He's Timo Seppa, former senior manager of hockey analytics at the NHL. I'm Casey Ditzel. Timo, good morning. What's happening?
Hey Casey, beautiful day outside. Looking to enjoy the day today, but then we'll be back to focusing on the games tonight.
It is great weather finally, and of course, right as the college season in Potsdam wraps up, I'm now homeless in my podcast setup here, hiding in the porch. Got to find a little bit better light for future going forward, but we've had 3 weeks of rain and 45 degrees. It's going to be 80 all week up there, just as everybody leaves now. But the reverse slate, a couple of pretty exciting games, and once again, Mikko Rantanen has returned. It was a 2-2 tied game. Dallas blew it out of the water in the third period, a goal and 2 assists, another 3-point outing, which seems to be just the standard now for Mikko Rantanen here. And again, that now shifts the emphasis on Connor Hellebuck. The road concerns continue. 3 straight goals against in the third period, and the Stars 5-2 win. The big topic of contention and really the game shifting moment was the game winning goal. It was an 8-minute long review. The entirety of Freebird played throughout this review, which kind of shows, how long this took. But the Stars were able to get right back at it. Maybe it iced the Winnipeg Jets a little bit. The players were out stretching and trying to stay warm. It took just about 45 seconds for Dallas to strike again, and all of a sudden it's a 2-goal lead. Your thoughts there on really that game shifting moment?
Yeah, well, I would suggest that they go with Xanadu by Rush next time. You got 10 or 11 minutes if you pick that. So it's a favorite of mine. Anyway, a lot to talk about there, right? So you would rather not have the delay, but the worst thing would have been if you had that 8-minute delay and they got the call wrong. I think they got the call right. I think I could go this way or that way regarding the kicking motion. It is clear that Hellebuck propelled the puck into his own goal. So actually, that brings up a topic for me, and I'm a stats guy, and I'm obviously a former NHL stats guy. One of the things that I don't understand with hockey, and by hockey I mean how the NHL interprets hockey, is how hard it is to get an own goal called on you in hockey. Like in soccer, it seems like every third goal is an own goal. So it's like as a striker in soccer, I'd be pissed off because they'd be stealing a bunch of my goals by just like it deflected off a defenseman or whatever when I created it. But it's on the score sheet, it doesn't show up as a Hellebuck own goal. But I thought the interpretation of what the ref said was that, and what the situation room said was that it was propelled in by Hellebuck. So which one is it? Did he propel it in or not? So if he propelled it in, it should be an own goal in my mind. In any case, it was the game-changing event. Bad luck for Hellebuck, and he was hot and cold. He looked kind of sketchy early in the game. Then he looked strong, and then I thought he kind of lost it after that unfortunate goal. He did not look like he was in good position for the fourth goal. So I would be concerned with him going forward. We saw good and bad Hellebuck in that one game, but did not like how he bounced back after the third goal against.
We picked the over yesterday. There was a point in that game, right as you in that second period range. I believe it was 2-1 Stars. Dallas was on the power play, and Hellebuck made a windmill glove save on a post to post pass, and it was one of those moments where, oh shoot, maybe he's back. Dallas is in trouble, but Dallas able to come back, a 2-1 series lead now with the 5-2 win on home ice. And Also notable, they've done this all without their top defenseman, Miro Heiskanen, continuing to near return. So Dallas is only going to get better. Florida and Toronto, more drama for the Leafs. And all of a sudden, their 2-0 series lead has been wiped away. And it looks like Florida Panthers hockey is back, a 2-0 win, just the gritty style we're used to seeing the Florida Panthers play.
Yeah, Florida had a tremendous game. That they way outshot and out attempted Toronto, and that's exactly what we saw in the analytics at the prior to the series, where as far as outshooting the other team by metrics like SAT percentage, which some people call Corsi percentage. Florida was near the top of the league and Toronto was near the bottom of the league. And this kind of game, it's not like every game is going to turn out this way, but this kind of game is what those analytics would have pointed towards.
Fireworks at the end of the game. As yesterday we kind of speculated on potential injuries lingering for Florida. Well, Max Domi in the closing seconds with about 3 seconds left, closing in on Alexander Barkov, a hit from behind, and the game spilled over. The game was already over there at 2-0 with just a couple seconds remaining. But now this, you can bet, is going to boil over. And for the Florida Panthers, probably exactly what they want. Matthew Tkachuk, some pretty funny quotes as he turns around to Paul Maurice and the microphone hot mic'd him, asking, "Can I go next game?" He was also screaming at Nylander that he was coming for him. Matthew Nyes got in there and said, "What about me?" I guess Nyes wants some of that smoke, but certainly a storyline to watch. And it's whether or not the Leafs can handle that physicality, if that's the style of game that's going to go forward. All of a sudden, the Florida Panthers are right back in it. We're tied 2-2. A team trying to tie it 2-2 will be the Washington Capitals tonight. They trail 2-1 in their series after Carolina picked up a Game 3 win on home ice. Game lines for tonight: Washington, the underdog, plus 190. The spread set at minus 144 for the Capitals. Carolina, minus 235 to win in regulation, plus 118 to cover the spread, the over-under at 5.5. The Canes this season have won all 3 home games against the Capitals, and all 3 by multiple goals. That was the 2 regular season games and Game 3. They lead the NHL in offensive zone time percentage during the postseason, and that indicates some sustained attacking pressure by this Canes team that likes to just roll lines, get that forecheck going, punt pucks, and chase.
Yeah, offensive zone time is something that tracks with SAT percentage, tracks with shot differentials, whatever. So it's something that with NHL Edge stats that we have now, since all of the players and the pucks are their locations are tracked many times a second by electronic chips. We can get zone time very easily for teams, for players. You could even get them for lines, whatever. So you would look to see that offensive zone time percentage, it should be just about in line with SAT percentage, and it's that case for Carolina. So in the playoffs, their SAT percentage, their Corsi percentage is 59.5%. Not surprising that that's first place in the NHL, just like they're first place in the regular season. If you convert the NHL's unfortunate way that they report offensive zone time, if you convert it into a 0 to 100% number, you get that their offensive zone time percentage is 57.1%. So also first place in the playoffs. So 59.5% in shot attempts, 57.1% in offensive zone time percentage. Both of those numbers are at 5-on-5, by the way, telling you that for shot attempts, Carolina has 59.5% of all shot attempts at 5-on-5, and Carolina has 57.1% of the time in one team's ozone or the other.
Carolina's outshot Washington in all 7 meetings this season. They average a plus 11 shot differential per game. That trends towards my first pick for this one is the Carolina 60-minute line. Talked about their success on home ice. I think that would trend towards a regulation win, especially with many of their shots in that differential coming from home ice advantage. Spencer Carberry, though, the Capitals head coach, emphasized the importance of not falling behind early. Playing from behind, he said, leads to pressing and uncharacteristic mistakes that the Capitals have made. That would lead towards Ovechkin's success, the offensive threat in Carberry's offense. He's seen increased shot volume in recent games with 13 shots attempted. 7 of them were on goal over the last two contests. One of those picks to throw into a parlay if you're looking for a good prop. Ovechkin 3+ shots on goal. That one's hit every game during this series so far. On the Capitals side, right alongside of him is Dylan Strome. He's assisted on many of those Ovechkin record-breaking goals over the season. He's plus 110 to pick up an assist. But one player I really want to talk about, Timo, is Taylor Hall. Hasn't really been highlighted, but has been a big piece of the Carolina offense. 2 points in the last 3 games to open the series for Carolina. He's also on their second power play unit. And we also talked about maybe the lack of star talent. Well, that comes with the depth that Carolina has and the success that they've seen. Their power play right now, number 1 of the remaining teams in the postseason, 9 power play goals with a 33% conversion rate. Hall on that second power play unit could play a big piece. He's also plus money for an anytime point tonight.
Yeah, a lot of stuff there. I mean, I've actually in a lot of games I've liked Carolina's second unit better than their first unit, especially earlier in the playoffs. The first unit looked kind of lost and played perimeter. So yeah, I hear you on as far as Hall on the second power play unit. He's had an interesting career, hasn't he? I mean, first overall draft pick. For a first overall draft pick, I mean, he's not a not been a miss like not Nail Yakupov, but he has been a journeyman and been on a lot of different teams for a guy in that position. But you know, he's a useful complementary player for a contender, and that's what he's turned his career into. You mentioned, and anyway, just going to the numbers on him. I know that you pointed me towards this as we were talking. We looked at what his Corsi percentage, what his SAT percentage is at 5-on-5 for this series. Just a few games in, obviously 67.1%. So showing that, like with many of the Carolina players, but maybe even more so, he is doing his job with pushing puck possession and shot differentials.
Plus 115 for Taylor Hall to pick up a point tonight. Also going to piggyback off of last episode. We had Seth Jarvis anytime goal. That one did not hit in the last game, but Jarvis scored in 65% of Carolina's home games this regular season. He's plus 170 to pick up an anytime goal. And our last one that Timo and I still like, the under in this series that is hit every time. And coming into this series, we thought if it went 6 games and you picked the under, you'd probably hit 5 of the 6. We're going to keep riding that one, minus 124 at under 5.5. Let's shift it over to the Edmonton game and the later game on tonight's slate out on the West Coast. Edmonton, the favorite at home, minus 126 on the money line. They are plus 172 on the spread. Vegas as the slight dog, plus 105. So just about even money for Vegas to tie the series up here, minus 215 on the spread. Edmonton leads 2-1. The big story is the goaltending. And really, when you're thinking about who you're going to pick, I think it comes down to who's in goal for Edmonton. Cal Pickard, 6-0, but was injured, didn't play last game, and Stuart Skinner got the start. He's now 0-3 in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, huge, obviously for Edmonton. I mean, if you know, a few days ago I was saying that Edmonton looks like a team of destiny. I mean, you wouldn't Edmonton, if you are rooting for them, you obviously wouldn't want them to lose McDavid or lose Draisaitl, but maybe losing Pickard is right up there with who they wouldn't want to lose as far as derailing this momentum and derailing this destiny. You mentioned Pickard, 6-0 in the playoffs, an 888 save percentage. Not great, not awful. Stuart Skinner, 0-3, 817. Right at the bottom of the goalies for this round of the playoffs as well. So um, it's going to make a big difference, and be just whether you're picking this game or picking the series, keeping an eye on who is in goal for Edmonton will make a difference.
We talked a little bit about some of the goals scored by Vegas, but diving a little deeper in on that, specifically the goal with 0.4 seconds left there. Skinner throughout a lot of this postseason has just seemed out of position on a lot of these goals. And really on that last one, it was glaring, completely overcommits a wide open net with the final seconds remaining. You could also go back and blame the defense a little bit on
Sure.
why he was one-on-one there. But in addition to that goal, two of the other three goals that Vegas scored were right through the 5 hole on Skinner. And it's been kind of a combination of goals going right between the legs or him dropping down early and leaving the top of the net engaged. What do we need to see better out of him if he's the guy going forward? Do you think they would maybe put a little more risk on trying to get Calvin Pickard back quicker, or do you think they still rest him here with that 2-1 lead?
I'm going to guess that it's not exclusively the trainers, but I mean the medical staff is going to make that decision. I'm sure as soon as they okay Pickard to as being good or good enough to go, I'm sure Pickard will be in there. Um, as with anybody else covering hockey or in hockey, goaltending is mysterious, strange and mysterious, and us non-goaltenders don't understand it too much. But however much we can understand it. I mean, I agree with what you said. I mean, that on that game-winning goal, yeah, Skinner was overcommitted. I mean, there was four Edmonton defenders and two opponents coming into the zone, and somehow everybody overcommitted, and it ended up with a Vegas goal. But yeah, he gives up shots in the through the 5 hole, get him moving laterally a little bit. That um, happened in that game and opened up the 5 hole. Drop down early and score high on him. I mean, it's what happens a lot when you see a big goalie and they play a butterfly style is they stop a lot of shots with their big body, but if you're going to score on them, you get them moving laterally, and you shoot up high when they drop into the butterfly. Yeah.
Tomas Hertl had 6 shots in game 3 alone. We'll talk about an upcoming injury. He might see some increased lineup production. Hertl to have 3+ shots on goal is plus 155. So if he moves up the lineup, that could be a guy to keep an eye on, especially if Vegas is trying to fire as many shots as they can on the Oilers' net. Despite the game 3 loss, the Oilers have been effective in generating high danger scoring chances. Edmonton controlled 56.7% of the high danger chances at 5-on-5. Also, during game 3, Vegas suffered a couple of big name losses. Mark Stone, the one I was hinting at there, that might lead to some more production out of Hertl. He went down, did not return. Braden McNabb was also banged up. Stone has 8 points in 9 games for Vegas on their top line. McNabb has 4 points from the blue line, averaging 21 minutes of time on ice. For that reason, I think it's the Oilers on home ice. And the Oilers money line is one that I like at minus 126 there. And leading the way, we've talked about Mikko Rantanen and how dominant he's been. Sneaky Leon Draisaitl has been almost as good and almost as good over the last 2 years. Obviously, Leon Draisaitl, one of the biggest names in hockey, so everyone probably not surprised at all that he's been a star. But he has 15 points in the 9 games in 3 home games this postseason. He has 8 points, multiple points in each games. I went back to 2024 because I was curious if that was a trend that had continued there. he had points in 10 of the 12 home games, 7 multi-point games. And in the first 2 rounds, they had 6 home games. He had 2+ points in all 6 of those home games in the first 2 rounds. He's plus 104 to get 2 or more points tonight. And the over-under set at 6.5. I like the alternate over with the Oilers win. Draisaitl dominating out there. That's minus 225 to help out a parlay. So, Timo, as we close it up here, what are you looking forward to looking to tonight's slate?
Yeah, we got a bunch of not surprising because we're dealing with game fours. We got a bunch of series in the balance. Um, yeah, I guess with Edmonton, Vegas, if it's Skinner in goal, you might think advantage Vegas, but then again, it's a good point that Vegas has their injuries as well. So, all right, you got me kind of torn on that one. Um, I guess I will ask you what you're feeling about Carolina, Washington. I don't have a really good numbers answer for this. I just feel like Washington had a great season, and we have trouble putting our finger on exactly what some of those reasons are. The analytics crowd, I'm sure, will like Carolina a ton, but Washington, they made it happen this year. So I guess I wouldn't be shocked if Washington found a way to pick up this game as well.
I'm still edging towards Carolina, and the reason you said there, Carolina seems to match up pretty well with Washington, and whatever it's been with Washington's success, they were dominant during the regular season, during the first round for that matter. I think they'll have more of an advantage as it goes back home. So this is actually a pretty big game for them trying to stay ahead in this series. If Carolina can take that 3-1 lead, I think Carolina in 6 is a good option, but Washington needs to scrape this one out. Carolina's a brutal road team in the playoffs. So if they can get it back home with a 2-2 series, I think Carolina is going to have that in the back of their minds. I think that's the reason they're going to come out and really press early in this game and early throughout, as we've seen the dominance possession wise for Carolina. I think it's going to be a regulation win for the Hurricanes tonight.
Interesting.
Any last thoughts here?
Looking forward to getting outside into that beautiful day I mentioned before. So that is the next priority step here.
That it is. All for our friends in the Northeast. Enjoy it outside. Go smell some roses here as the April showers are finally turning to some leaves on the trees in the back. The Mayflower is ready to bloom here. Tying a bow on it, Timo. We'll be right back tomorrow. More hockey to cover and hopefully some more exciting hockey here tonight. And those picks, props, and parlays coming through for all of our friends. Continue to follow us daily on the Frozen Edge here. Make sure to like and subscribe. Spotify, YouTube, and on X at Frozen Edge Pod. And Timo and I will continue to post our picks throughout the day, post our episodes, and you can follow along and hopefully ride with us and win some money. Until tomorrow, he's Timo Seppa. I'm Casey Ditzel. Have a good one, everybody.